rest of the year. Here are the Big 12 Players of the Week. First of all, Jonathan Brooks, 200-plus yards. He has not made people forget Bijan Robinson, because you don't do that. But yet the latest in the great line of the running backs at Texas, and he was spectacular, 200-plus yards, and he's just a great running back, and they've got a cupboard full of them. Adonai Mitchell, the transfer from Georgia, the newcomer of the year. Caden Jenkins, of the week, Caden Jenkins, scoop and score for Baylor that truly gave them the chance, is the defensive player of the week in Texas Tech. Loic Fanoji, the special teams Big 12 football Week 5 award winner for special teams.
Yeah, well, you had questions about Texas. I think that they were smaller than, the list was smaller than probably any other team in the Big 12 as far as major question marks. And the one that you might have had up until a couple weeks ago was like, who's going to be the guy in the backfield for them? Who's going to, how's the running back situation going to work? And you've signed some big recruits, and that's one thing, but to see them actually go out there and show it is another thing. And Jonathan Brooks has, taken the charge, and I think the last couple weeks has exploded and pretty clearly become the guy. He was already, but, really looks like the guy now and is really showing it, with his performance on the field. So that's a great development for Texas, that's starting to get going, especially, in time for this OU versus, and then versus the rest of the world the rest of the way. I mean, to get this point at 5-0, to have Brooks step up, to have Ewers playing really sharp, Adonai Mitchell, and a star-studded receiving core, he's incredible. Things are really clicking for them, especially with Brooks getting going. So that makes them just more fierce, and he's definitely deserving. Had a monster game against the Jayhawks. Fanoji had 2 huge plays back-to-back for Tech, special teams, and then offensively, I believe, right? Or was it both special teams? He had I think it was both special teams. So anyways, he had the 2 huge plays back-to-back, and then, Caden Jenkins, obviously, with a monster play as well. But, Fanoji's were like back-to-back massive plays to create some separation in that game for Texas Tech. So
he caught a touchdown pass, but he also blocked the punt and returned it for a touchdown.
He returned it right after. So, I could see where he was special teams because of that block and return.
And had a punt return.
He
did it all. Here are a couple of nuggets on UT. From John Bianco, their media relations, vice president of media relations. They're one of only 4 teams in the FBS who rank in the top 20 in total offense and total defense. Oregon, Miami, and Georgia are the others. Very well balanced on what they're doing, and their offense always seems to have had weapons and 5 stars or whatever, especially when it comes to skilled positions. But that's a great stat, and averaging 480 yards a game, allowing less than 300. Meanwhile, here's another one. In the win against Kansas, Quinn Ewers, Jonathan Brooks, Adonai Mitchell. Second time in UT history, the Horns have had a 300-yard passer, 200-yard rusher, and 100-yard receiver in the same game. Weapons galore.
Yes, they do. When it comes down to that, for Texas and OU this week, that's going to be my big thing, because I do think that these teams are both playing really well, and they're both playing really confident right now. It's always a weird game, and it gets like some kind of wonky things happen. So if it's weird when it comes down to late, and say it winds up like Notre Dame and Ohio State a couple weeks ago, the difference in Ohio State, I think, late in the game is that they had more stars on offense to make those plays than Notre Dame did. And that might be what separates Texas and OU, but sometimes those things just get completely negated in the Red River game.
Yeah, no, it just seems to me that this could be a shootout, but the difference to me is, and I saw Oklahoma they had to force some turnovers, one early, but I still saw a lot of players running free. A lot of players running free in that game against Iowa State. All right, now, here's the new top 25.